Yeah, welcome back. So let's look at now. We have looked at what is called a post, a different kind of post around this thing. So what we're going to do, I'm going to create I'm going to clear everything here, or just clear the one that I create. Just clear the one that I create like this. So I'm going to create a data here. I'm going to create a product. I'm going to final. Not I'm going to final. Yeah, final. We have a. I'm going to be a list of products. So you're going to be list. Going to be list of product it's equal to then a list like this. Now this list is not just a list of mark. I want to just add two. So I will need to pause it to add it. Then yeah, pause you. I will give you to type. So you can just I will just fast forward it. So that's what add it. So the add is going to be what is iPhone 7, iPhone 7, iPhone 17. Then what's the price? Is so 20 $. Then let's do that. So let's copy this again. And again, so this has to have comma here. So change this to 2. And that should be so for 7 like this. So we can have this like this. So now we have three iPhone that we want to sell. So the ID should be 3. The ID should not have the same ID. So now what we need to do now is that we want to get the products. I will say what's called app. Now that we get from Flint Dart, we create it from Flint Dart here. What's called dot get. So what's inside that app? I'm talking about forward slash products. Products. Then I'm going to have the answer here. Like request yes so then last thing we need is to just return then our response dot now we have another thing now we're using send. So we send a string. I get it now. But then there's another thing called a JSON. And this is a list. So you want to send a JSON format. So basically, there's no big deal about using send. You can really just do what's called a convert it. You say convert to. Yeah, but feeling that do the conversion by itself, if you use what's called a JSON, it's called JSON. Now you take a dynamic, you send a JSON response with a map or list. So and the content automatically set to application slash JSON. If I put the list of photos like this, automatically I'm going to send the response to the JSON format. So that is what this is going to do. So now, so we may need to check our application by just saying that we are going to come here, say forward slash. Yeah, can you see? We have a list of JSON. Now, this might actually be a good way of testing our application just from this outside here, or just from the browser here. It might not be a good way of testing application. Another way of testing application is you have our Postman, but due to some issue, I'm going to be using my this Thunder client. So Thunder client is going to be useful for me today. So I'm going to open a new window. Then I will have my Thunder client here. So this should be separate. So it's going to be separate. So first thing we need to do is to make a request. Let's say we want to have a request, a new request. I want to say that this request, this is not where I'm going to. I can just come here and copy this product here. So it's going to be fast. I'll be typing it. I will then say this. So in this Thunder client, you can change your type of request from there. And that's why this one is more better than using browser. Browser, you cannot change your request, the kind of request you want to use. Browser, oftentimes, if it's not your code that is making the request and that request, browser only make a get request. When you put a URL there, they don't send the post request to your URL, they send get request. So that's why. Now I'm not going to say that okay, get request. Yeah, can you see we have our hyphen request here? So then another thing we need what's called a post request. So I can just duplicate this. So I can, I guess, can I change the name? The name, yes, I can say get request product get. Say I'm going to change this also to product create. So then we come back to my main code. Now we have three applications. So now what we want to do, I want to create a new product. I want to add a new product to it. And don't forget, I told you that your route or your action determines the kind of logic you're going to write. Now today, our action that we want to do after we have done with the get is to actually create or add a new product to our application. Now, well, you might just think that why can't you just use get by just using the params or those things. Now, if you're sending a kind of data that is more sensitive like this, it's not good for you to use this kind of get. It's rather you use what's called a post request. So let's just go post. Let's say app.post post. Then you have /products. Now, the post and this together, they are different requests, though they have the same route, but they are different requests entirely. So if you send a get request, it won't come to post. It's going to go to this. You're going to call on this logic at the right there. If you send a post request, it's going to come to this way. Get will come here, post will come here. Let's get our handler. Our handler is what's called the req like this. I'll command res. Now async. Now async. So now what are we doing? We are adding a new feature to the application, a new data to the application. So we are expecting user to send data to us, and the data should be a JSON format. How we are expecting from user. So now, because I told you that anytime you want to get something from user or you want to get the data from user, it comes from your get request. So that I'm going to say request like this, or I want to say body or data. I say vinyl data is equal to req. Now, how do we get request? That is called dot body. Now, this body is going to give you the string version of the request. I will have converted to string or decode it to string to a JSON format. Now, but what we actually need is not actually JSON. It's not actually just JSON format. We need the map, the real data, like a Dart data. So Flint Dart actually converts it to that data for by just saying that JSON like this. So then that would have converted anything you put inside of it to a list of or a object that's supposed to be. Exactly. So now what we need to actually do now is to come like this. Then after we have the data, we have our map, we have our map. So you can just make it also a string. Maybe what you're expecting is not JSON. Then that text actually doesn't do like rewrite and do different things with it. And what I'm expecting is a JSON format. So I just need to what? I just need data. Then another thing I need is to add the data to our application here. So adding the data to our application is just by saying that first thing I need to have create our data. I will say data is according to what is called ID, because ID is not going to come from the user or from the person I want to create the application. So we're going to be creating the ID automatically by ourselves. I want to say the ID is going to be equal to the length plus 1, the length of this, and the length then plus 1. So ID is equal to the length of the product, which is 3 plus 1, which is 4. So then I'm going to now say that respond. No, not just respond. I'm going to add it. I want a list of product dot add. So I'm going to add the value, which is the data. Now there's an error here because the argument what I'm expecting is okay. What this is going to give to us is dynamic, and this is expecting a object. So let's look at it very well. Why is it expecting object? So let's just change this guy to list then of map, and this map is going to have string then command dynamic. So this is so then we're going to then say, since we have added it now, all we just need to do, we won't respond every data to the user. I'm going to just respond back to user and say return res at this dot down. I'm going to say what's called JSON also. So I'm going to have a data like this. So first I'm going to say the status. So that's how we write logic. I say status is going to be true. Then I also have MSG, which is like message. I'm going to say products created successfully. Then I also have that thing called commanded new data. What's the data? So this is what I'm going to say. What I want to do. So then if you come here, not here, so our second where we make a request, which is create. Now we can't just make a request that you need to make it to post here. And if I send it now, yeah, we have a message which said that it is not valid input, which means that we don't send what I'm sending is not real data that we are expecting. So because we send nothing, it's not saying because we have already converted it to JSON. Yeah, that's why we're having the error. So the value that you're sending is not valid input. So you need to put a valid input there. So how do you put valid input by saying JSON like this? Now you can put this once in the XML content, this form, different kind of thing. But what I actually need is this guy. Exactly, is this JSON. So the first thing I need is the name. Now don't forget, in JSON you don't have single quote. You have what's called double quotes. Everything was double quotes. And also what's called iPhone also. iPhone 15, and then I'm going to have command. I'm going to have the price. So I'm going to say the price is integer. So I just say 30. I can just say okay one. So now when you end this, if this is going to be your last last data or last value I'm going to put inside of this JSON format, you don't need to have command the last unless you want to add a new value. So now if I send it now, I'm going to have this. Let me see, it's created, which is 4. Let me see, 4 is created. I will come back to this get. No, we have already have just have 3 before. I send it again, and we have 4 ID 4. We have iPhone 15, iPhone 7, iPhone 9, iPhone 17. I send it again, and it's still there. Like I can put on that one. It's like go. 95. So and you see we have this also. I come back here, we have this, we have it also 95. So now basically we have been able to write our post request currently, and this gets it our post request, and this post request is able to create a data or add a data to our applications, and that's what this post request has done for us. That's cool, and that's